One of the most annoying things about going to bed at night is that I have to stop reading. So why not skip the bed part entirely and keep going? In fact, how about we ignore everything we were meant to be doing and read for 24 hours straight?
I've lost my mind.
So that's exactly what I did.
In front of me, I have 2 bags. One has books and one has snacks. I have shapes, 2 different microwave meals, and I have McCain little... Quiet on set, please. Get out of the book bag. Get out of the book bag. And I have McCain little pizzas, because I love them. And 2 bottles of Lipton iced tea, peach and no sugar. Get out of the book bag. In terms of books, we have The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first in the Mistborn series. The recommendation on the shelf was like, if you like fantasy and you haven't read Brandon Sanderson, you're missing out. I kind of already knew that. I know that Brandon Sanderson is like the man in fantasy at the moment. I got A Little Life. Hanya Yanagara. Quiet on set, thanks? Quiet on set. I kind of just bought this for the trophy, to be honest, because I feel like I'm gonna love this book. To be honest, I'm probably gonna read it on the Kindle. Ashley Poston's new release, a novel love story. I have never read any of Ashley Poston posted on the internet.
But she was lying, for she has read 7 Years Slip and very much enjoyed it.
I'm intrigued to see how this one will go, and these are just little ones, so this should be good. And then the last one I bought was The Bookbinder of Jericho. I picked this up naturally because I liked the cover. Are they your books? You gonna read the books? You don't know how to read, silly. In terms of what I want to start with, I think we'll put A Little Life to the side for a second, because I don't know if she's gonna make it into this 24 hours just because of how big she is. You know what? I think we'll start with The Final Empire, because a very intelligent birdie once said to start with the more intricate ones first, because by the end of the challenge, apparently you just start getting loopy. I don't want to be reading this when I can't even string sentences together, so I think we'll start with Mistborn. Shall we start a 24-hour timer? Wait, you can only do 23 hours and 59 minutes and 59 seconds. I've already been up for a few hours. I am anticipating some potential loop, mayhaps some kooky, but we'll see.
The Final Empire is a fantasy novel published in 2006 by Brandon Sanderson. It's the first in the Mistborn series and set in a dystopian world where ash constantly falls from the sky and the characters don't understand why plants should be green.
I got 3 pages in and remembered I was hungry and I haven't had breakfast yet, so we're making eggs.
The power system is referred to as allomancy and involves burning metals at your whim. You follow Vin, a wary and abused street urchin who is recruited by a crew of people planning to overthrow the Empire and make the world a better place. And you guessed it, though she didn't, she's got allomantic powers.
Okay, we are 100 pages into Mistborn so far. Oh, I beg your finest pardon, 104 pages. I do my best not to spread misinformation, but what can I say? I'm only human. Took me like probably 45 minutes to read the first 30 pages, though, I will admit. The interruption with the eggs. I had a delivery. My boyfriend brought me Red Bulls. These are some things you just can't plan for. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely could have planned for it. Absolutely could have had my eggs before I started the challenge. Absolutely could have gotten the Red Bulls myself earlier today. Did I do any of those things? No. Really enjoying it so far. I'm really glad that I picked it first, because when you are reading a new fantasy book for the first time, there are 2 things you're grappling with. The first is to be able to understand the world, the people, the class structure, and the powers if there are some. But if it's fantasy, like, you'd fucking assume there are. The other thing you're grappling with is whether or not all of these concepts are gonna work for you. And then things like the writing and the characters and everything else comes into play. So 100 pages in, I think I was at like 50 pages or so, and I was already like, yeah, I like it. Probably a stupid book to pick for a 24-hour challenge, because it is like close to 700 pages, 650, but I'm enjoying it. So I mean, do you know what I mean when I say that it's really exciting to get to be like this early into a book and to know you've got all of these pages that you have absolutely no idea what happens, but you're like, I want to know. Tell me. Hobbit says. Yeah, I just spent the past week reading The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and I can't get Gollum out of my head. Sweet boy. I got waylaid. You wouldn't believe it. I had absolutely nothing on my plate and now I just got waylaid doing work. Don't worry, I paused the timer, but I think I finished my work and we'll go back to it now. We're pausing the timer again because I'm hungry and I also randomly just like desperately want to shower. I don't know, it's just not a time of day that I usually care about showering. I'm feeding the dog, showering, getting into my pajamas, and then we're going hard. Then we're not mucking around, all right? But first, let's feed the dog. Oh, you don't want it. Berries and cream, berries and cream. God, I needed that. Couldn't tell you why. Something in my body was just screaming out. Now I need to be fed. Oh, I miss you. Can't wait. Can't wait. When I tell you how excited I am to read this, I had to save it for the dark because it's scary. I am so excited to finish this tonight. Greetings to you and yours. I just finished Mistborn Book 1, The Final Empire. I loved it. It was grape. I've got 15 hours left. Did I spend the first 9 hours reading one book? Yeah. I'm glad I did though. It was good. I'll give my final thoughts of all the books I get through at the end. To be fair though, it was 643 pages. Quite dense. Like the pages are quite full. So I'm proud of myself for getting through that. I'm gonna go keep reading The Exorcist. I am like halfway through that. I'm very excited to finish that. So technically that probably won't count as like a full book read, but I really want to finish it. Oh, this is probably stupid. I'm gonna go and get into bed and turn off the lights because it needs to be spooky. And it is kind of spooky, The Exorcist. Anyway, let's go do that. No, don't lie down. Just asking for trouble.
The Exorcist is a horror novel published in 1971 by William Peter Blatty, where you follow an actress whose normally lovely daughter Regan starts to act strange. You can see where this is going, so I'll leave it at that.
That was very good. I enjoyed that. Hello, mobile, telephone. 13 and a half hours to go. I'm hungry. I gotta get up and turn lights on now. I think it's time for something lighter, book-wise. And the lights in which... What? Gross. I'm hungry, so I'm gonna have an orange. I hope this is a good orange. Good orange. So I'm thinking we're gonna go with the Ashley Poston because I need something a little bit lighthearted. We just went from like complicated fantasy world with politics and overthrowing the government to an exorcism. Also, I should tell you that The Exorcist was good. I don't know if I said that. That was very good. Really good. I like how while she's being while they're attempting to diagnose her as possessed, there's just this absurd detective character that has a degree in yaponomics. But I enjoyed it. Apparently the audiobook is really scary, but well, I didn't listen to it, did I?
A Novel Love Story is a romance novel published in 2024 by Ashley Poston. You follow a woman in her early 30s who has a particular love for a series of books that was abruptly cut short after the author died. She takes a week for herself to go and get lost in a book in a cabin and quite literally ends up stuck in the fictional town that her favourite book series was set. The town is abruptly frozen in time and there are characters there that she can't quite place from the published books. Hi, coming to you live from my iPhone because at some stage in the past 12 hours or so, I broke the microphone that sits on the camera. The microphone itself isn't broken. It just doesn't want to sit on the camera anymore. Just hit page 100 in a novel love story and I'm really liking it. I'm really enjoying it. I will not lie to you. I shall not tell a lie. There's a new one for you. I shall not tell a lie. I really like Ashley Poston's writing style, so I'm not shocked. I really enjoyed 7 Year Slip. This is good. I think what I'm most enjoying about Ashley Poston so far is that, like, of the 2 books of hers that I've read, let's call it 1 1/3, she's got really interesting concepts. Nice. Cool. Anyway, good chat. I'm gonna make some pizza.
I'd like it on the record that I did have an intention to get a nice cinematic shot for you of it turning into daylight. I simply cannot be bothered. The camera's all the way over there. What do you expect from me? It's daytime, say 7 hours to go. I just finished a novel love story. That was like unexpectedly disappointing. I was really into it until about here. And then the last 100 pages, oh my god, I just found it so boring at the end. Like, I just thought it could have been wrapped up a hell of a lot quicker. It wasn't bad. It just went from being like a fun read to like a slog to get through. I was sitting here thinking, like, is it me? Like, am I just losing my mind? Am I just bored of reading after this long? But I know that's not the case, because like whenever there was a interesting part, I was like, yeah. It sucks to say, but I feel like you can read the first 280 pages of this book and call it a day. Oh, it's very much daytime, and that's jarring. I have no idea what I want to read next. I don't want to do another romance. I need something with a little bit more substance, you know? I need this now. I'm gonna work out what I want to read. 6 hours and 7 seconds left, so not much feels more degenerate than drinking a Red Bull at 8:30 in the morning. I kind of want a mystery or something. I want something that's gonna like suck me in for obvious reasons. I don't feel like a cozy romance right now. I want something that's gonna make me intrigued. I wish to feel wowed. Can we arrange for Lucy to feel engrossed? Tell you what I haven't read is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and that is rated really highly. Everyone in Fairview knows the story. Pretty and popular high school senior Andy Bell was murdered by her boyfriend. Okay. Unlucky Andy. Maybe A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I haven't read that before. I haven't read it before. Do you want me to say it again? I haven't read it before. Go to bed, Lucy. Ooh, I think we can treat ourselves to some bedtime for the last 6 hours. Is it dangerous? A little risky? Yeah. I like to play with fire sometimes. Live a little. How about you, Rat? You wanna play with fire with me? She has just been snooping the entire time. Just snooping in various beds, in various positions, and every time I get up, she steals my spot. I'll tell you what has changed since we started this challenge. When I started and I was reading big yawn. And I was reading Mistborn, I had something in my head that it was a how many books can you read in 24-hour challenge? But at this point, I'm just trying to stay awake, so... Sorry, I've lost it. I don't know what I'm laughing at. Can I read for 24 hours straight? Can I read? Mipa, ju. Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Mipa, ataco. Are you guys ready to go sicko mode? Crazy that people are just starting their day. I've been up for hours. Why is Goodreads so slow? All it is text and a graphic. I must say I have a very strange, most recently read trends going on here. So we've got The Hobbit, Beach Read by Emily Henry, all 3 Lord of the Rings, The Exorcist. Oh, Mistborn isn't there. And then an Ashley Poston. Is it fucking Poston or Poston? Or Poston? Could be like Boston, but with a P. We're evolving. We could be onto something here. Anyway, excuse me while I go sicko mode. I keep going to turn the lights off. Hey team, just a quick check-in from me here, updating you on brain capacity. It is taking me about 5 to 10 minutes per page. I just keep staring off into the distance. So regarding my earlier question of can I read, jury's still out on that one. For some reason I feel like if I brush my teeth, my literacy skills will improve. Much to ponder. I lowered the blinds and that's been lovely. With regards to the sunlight, I simply did not have the capacity for any more of that rubbish. This is great. I'm 22% through. It's like exactly what I needed at this stage of this 24-hour readathon. I'm in the swing of it now and I'm getting through it quicker than I was. You know, for context, like I feel like I'd struggle with Very Hungry Caterpillar at this point. So the fact that I'm 22% through is like wicked. And also I told you I was going sicko mode. Oh, and I should probably tell you we've got 3 hours and 19 minutes left. I won't lie to you, I'm actually starting to nod off. See, this is what's happened. This is my microphone. She just be dangling. Okay, she's allowed. Under an hour to go. Except the stupid thing is that brings us to like 2:30 p.m. And I can't go to bed at 2:30 p.m. So I'll probably end up finishing this. And then at least wait till like 5. Oh, woe is me. I just spent 24 hours reading. Oh, I actually look like a little mushroom. Is that better? Whoppa Gangnam Style. I've lost my mind. We did it! We did it, Red! 69%. Oh my god. This is really good. Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Really enjoying this. But that's all I'm saying right now. My brain is not functioning. In my possession currently, maybe 5 brain cells. They're all rubbing together at a rapid pace and not doing much. So I will see you when I am more awake. Hey team, how's it going? I slept for 15 hours. How did you guys sleep? I left it a day to kind of like really solidify my thoughts on each book and make sure that what I'm saying now is actually how I feel about the books. Just a quick rundown on how I rate books out of 5. 1 star means I hated it. 2 stars means I didn't like it. 3 stars is our middle ground. It's kind of like I can take it or leave it. I didn't dislike it, but it was just a book. Most of my reads tend to fall in 3 stars. 4 stars means I really liked it and would recommend. 5 stars means it's a book I will think about and love for a very long time. Okay, let's get cracking. Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I gave this one 4.5 stars. I absolutely loved it. The style of magic in the book is really cool, and I think it would make a really sick video game, which I know is a really weird thing to say about a book, but it just feels like a game mechanic that would be really fun to play. Characters were good. I really liked his writing style. There also wasn't like page upon page upon page of world building. The world building happened naturally through the characters' dialogue, their thoughts and feelings in an area. It just happened naturally, which in my opinion is how it should be. I didn't really fatigue at all throughout. Like, I know I was intentionally reading it in one sitting, but I feel like I could have read it pretty quickly in like a day, even if I wasn't doing a 24-hour challenge. The pacing was really good. There was plenty of like behind the scenes politics going on. I don't mind an action scene, like fighting scenes in fantasy novels. Obviously it's fantasy, like typically you're gonna get those. My only thing is, if there isn't an understanding of why the stakes are so high or why they're fighting in the first place, I just get bored. But in this book, it was done really well. So like they took you through every decision made that they were, you know, talking about in order to get closer to their goal of overthrowing the government. So when there was a fight scene, you really got it. You really understood why they were fighting, why this was important. It wasn't just like a throwaway fight scene, which I feel like I have experienced in some fantasy novels before, where I genuinely just kind of like skim through and I'm just like, yep, he hit her. Yep, oh, she's on the ground. Oh, nope, she won. She's a 15-year-old girl with superhuman strength and zero training, but she won. Good stuff. I wrote in my notes here, no romance I didn't mind. That's a bold-faced lie. I've completely forgot that there actually was romance in this. And that's why I left it a day before I like fully encapsulated my thoughts. There is a little sprinkling of a love interest, but there's no spice or anything. And it was cute. I didn't feel like it was forced. It was done appropriately for the storyline. Would I recommend it? Yeah. If you liked Throne of Glass, I think you would really enjoy this. I'm excited to keep reading the series. I started Well of Ascension, which is the second one, last night on my Kindle, and I got, I think, 3 pages in and fell asleep, because how nice is sleep? Okay, The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. Gave this one 4 stars. God, I really liked this book. The big 2 reasons were pacing and spooky. I really love horror movies, particularly paranormal horror movies. Like I'm a real slut for Paranormal Activity, The Nun. I was kind of skeptical about whether or not I was actually going to be spooked by like a book. I didn't have to turn on the lights at any point. I remember the first night I read it, I think it's like one of the first scenes that you go and see that she's kind of like, the daughter is kind of acting a bit weird. I was like rolled over facing the window, my door's behind me. And I remember like, you know when you do that thing where you're like, and you do that thing where you check to make sure no one's in the doorway or in your room in general, like I would do anything if there was. But yeah, there was one moment where I got a bit spooky, but overall I didn't feel terrified. I was just interested. As I said before in the video, apparently the audiobook is really spooky, like a lot more of a scary experience than reading the book. Let's see if we can...
Harris flipped his glance up to the demon. Yes, she will not sleep. Do you hear? I will not let the piglet sleep. As the demon put its head back and closed.
I thought that was going to be narrated by a woman. Okay, not as spooky as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was a woman that narrated that, which I don't know. Take this as a grain of salt, but I think it would have been better if a lady narrated those chapters. Spooky. Moving on. The pacing was fantastic. The author, William Peter Blatty, never wrote more words than was necessary. So when you did come upon a really nice turn of phrase, it really was satisfying. There was one that I remember, just for context, this is a part in the book where the mother of the daughter is talking to a psychiatrist about what he thinks she has. And that's it. That's what you think she's got. As I said, I don't know. The psychiatrist seemed to be choosing his words as carefully as flat, round stones to skim over a pond. Beautiful. That was after 2 pages of fairly quick back and forth dialogue. There wasn't much external movement or thoughts from each character, and then that line came in and it's just like lovely. Cool. Another part, he ran back through Reagan's symptoms, touching each like a schoolboy, making sure that he taps every slat as he walks along a white picket fence. Again, there was a page worth of monotonous going through of like older research, and then that line comes in. Beautiful. The characters surrounding the plot were great, nothing felt unnecessary. In terms of why this got a 4 and not higher, it's just because I felt the ending left me wanting more, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for a book at all. That's just where I sit and where I think it, the rating comfortably sits for me. Would I recommend? Absolutely. If you like mystery or crime novels and you also like paranormal style horror, you will love this. Sorry, I don't know where that audio went. A novel love story by Ashley Poston. I rated this one 2.5 stars, which I hate to do. Some people might think it's like people get a kick from rating a book low. Like, no, I wanted to love it. Why else would you pay money to buy a book? As I said when I finished it, this was unexpectedly disappointing. The pacing in the first half was really good and I genuinely was really enjoying it. The proof is in the pudding. The pudding being earlier parts of this video where I did say I was enjoying it. The concept was intriguing and I do really like Ashley Poston's writing style, but here's why I didn't like it. The dialogue between the main character and the love interest felt a bit forced and cliche at times, which did surprise me because I didn't get that at all with 7 Years Slip. And so that leads me to think that maybe Ashley just missed the mark with this love interest, maybe? The last 100 pages were a genuine drag to get through. I feel like it could have been wrapped up a hell of a lot faster, and there's nothing worse than enjoying a book and then all of a sudden getting to, like, you know, the end where it should be only getting better, if not wrapping it up in a way that makes you feel satisfied and feeling like, oh my god, like you don't want to finish it. And that's kind of where I was at. All of a sudden it goes 2 times speed and we're wrapping up other love stories from people that I remember sitting there being like, oh, I feel bad. Am I meant to give a shit about these people? Like, I just don't. I understand that the plot of this book kind of wove together with this cheesy fictional romance series, the series that she loved. I did feel though that at times the cheese of that melted into the actual book, and it felt, to be honest, a little bit juvenile and not completely thought through, particularly toward the end. It felt like she had a really solid idea of what the book was going to be for the first, you know, 2/3 of the book. And then at the end, I don't know if she was in a rush or something. It just confused me. I was like wondering whether or not like her editor was, I don't know, like I felt like whoever her editor is may have let her down a little bit, because, oh, this sucks to say, but it's like you, as a writer, you need someone who's going to tell you like, hey, this isn't working. Like, can we fix this? I don't know, whoever her early readers were, I was kind of shocked that like they didn't say, hey, the end of the book is really flat. All this to say, there is plenty of good in the book, and you know, as I said earlier, the proof's in the pudding. I did really enjoy it for the first like half to 2/3 of the book. I just felt that it could have been a lot better. So would I recommend it? Probably not, but I would instead point you towards 7 Years Slip and say, just give that one a go, because I loved that one. And I'm not giving up on Ashley Poston. I do like her writing style and her writing themes, and at the end of the day, those are 2 things that are a big tick for me on whether or not I'm gonna read someone's book. So for sure I'll be reading her like next book. I'm just a little bit disappointed and like sad that I didn't like this one, because at the end of the day, me rating a book low isn't so I can feel better about myself. It's sad, because I'm like, I would genuinely have really liked to enjoy that book. I wish it did different things for me at the end. It just didn't. It fell a bit flat for me. And the last one was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I read on my Kindle. I only got through 69% in the 24-hour challenge, but I did finish it before sitting down now. I gave this one 4 stars. Not my first time reading Holly Jackson. I actually read The Reappearance of Rachel Price earlier this year, and I really enjoyed that one. But this one was fantastic. The pacing in the first like 300 pages was just unreal. I felt myself really locked into the plot. Like, as a reader, I was sitting there trying to read between the lines and solve the mystery on my own with what was given to me, which is, in my opinion, exactly what you want from a mystery. The use of swapping between a regular, you know, chapter of fiction, not that the whole book isn't fiction, but I mean like dialogue and interactions with people, and then into the next chapter would be her written project. Oh, chef's kiss. I love it when there is like a dynamic use of emails or like social media posts, transcripts, interviews in novels. It just, I don't know why, but it really gets me going. In terms of the mystery itself, it was very thought out. Like, considering this was her debut novel, I was pretty blown away. There were plenty of twists and turns, but still remaining logical with the overall plot of this mystery. Yeah, I was really impressed. Like, holy shit, for your debut novel, a lot of work went into this. Gave me Pretty Little Liars vibes at times, in a good way. I haven't watched that show in like a decade, but yeah, it was just like a nice little reminder of like tropes used in that were similar to this book. The only thing I didn't like was the constant gung-ho nature of this teenage girl to go and like meet up with potential murderers to solve the crime herself. Now, I know this is a really common trope in young adult mystery novels. I know that, but this main character is set up as a very logical, intelligent girl who very much knows the dangers of these people and this mystery in general. And I felt that that was pretty conflicting with her as a character. It didn't make sense to me that she would just throw caution caution to the wind constantly and put ourselves in positions where like she could genuinely get in some serious shit. Yeah, that was the only thing that I thought like, oh, that doesn't sound like the character I know. All that said though, would I recommend? Absolutely. If you like a meticulously planned and thought out mystery novel with really good pacing and plenty of twists and turns, give it a go. But that is all she wrote for this video. I hope you're having a beautiful morning, afternoon / evening, and I will see you guys next time.